What day is it? Could you please tell me? What day is it? I'm confused, you see. Is it Sunday? No. Is it Monday? No. Is it Tuesday, Bluesday, Betterware, Tuesday? No. Is it Wednesday? No. Is it Thursday? Shut up. Is it Friday, Saturday, Betterware, Saturday? Maybe it's tomorrow and maybe it's not. Maybe it's yesterday. I just forgot. Maybe tomorrow and maybe it's not. Maybe it's yesterday. I just forgot. Hey, what day is it? Could you please tell me? What day is it? What day is it? I'm confused, you say. Oh!
And now, from the apocalypse, it's his bunker, it's his rules, it's his game show. Everyone, get out and vote. Do I need to give you a reason? If you don't get out and vote, I will come watch you wake up. And now your host, Devin Pye.
I think all of us need to figure out that, honestly, watching Pigman watch us in our sleep is about as good of a motivator to vote as anything else that could possibly happen. Welcome to Universal Remote, the online quiz show with production value equal to or greater than several international news organizations and sports reporting organizations as well, live from Network 23. My name is Devin Pike. Thank you so much for joining our weekly trivial diversion. And in no way will we let the Dallas Observer's Best of 2020 award for Best Game Show go to our heads. In fact, I don't think you're ever going to hear us speak of it again, ever. Yeah, never again. A massive welcome to all who followed the raid from Free Play's Twitch channel. We're partnering up with our favorite retro coin op paradise to beam this thing of ours directly into your entertainment-starved brains, and we invite each and every one of you to follow us on all of our social networks, as that's how you're going to get the skinny on our show, and also some free clues from time to time. So we are actively debasing ourselves as well. We are actively debasing ourselves more than normal to implore you to support the show. If you've gotten any kind of enjoyment out of our trivial diversions over the past year, we humbly invite you to kick a couple of shekels our way with our Patreon for Universal Remote. There's levels for every sort of support, including a killer-sustaining Patreon patron coffee mug. Try saying that 5 times fast. And a downloadable, personalized video greeting from Pigman. Go forth and pledge at patreon.com/Universal Remote. As for the rules, there are rules. We do have a game show, and here it is. It's incredibly simple to play. All you have to do is to head over to baconsamurai.tv/URLive and play along by putting your answers in the chat window. It's either on your right if you're on your desktop or down at the bottom if you're on your mobile. And if you're watching along on Twitch or YouTube, you can see the answers right over here. And you can say that you knew the answers and all of these jokers didn't. The first 3 people who answered the question correctly get the points. Actually, everybody gets a little bit of points, but 30 for first, 20 for second, and 10 for third, and then 5 if you just like copy their answers and throw it into the scoring mix. And all those values double in the second round. So, pot's right. We're locked in. Let's wheel them around and get underway with our first category of the evening. That, of course, is, as always, pay attention. It is our weekly dive into the past 7 days of pop culture happenings. Let's see how many of you are reading the articles and not just clicking like on the headlines. Here we go. This is question number 1. On Tuesday, the next logical step in American concert going was tested out in Oklahoma City, where attendees were all in plastic bubbles, safe from the germs of their fellow bouncing fans. What visionary band held that concert? Something was supposed to fire it off. It did fire off. Okay, it is going. I just want to make sure it was. Okay, it's playing. Just want to make sure. Little night music for you, if you don't mind. And if you know Oklahoma City, you know what band this is. Question number 2. This week, retired NFL three-ring circus Chad Johnson, a.k.a. Ocho Cinco, revealed that his favorite movie is what cross-species love story? Although, to be fair, he said it was one of his favorites. I don't know if he said it is his favorite, but for our intents and purposes, I'm going to say it is. Because it makes my heart very, very happy. Actually, I'm probably going to watch that movie after we're done. I have 19,000 things I need to watch. Question number 3. Hearing this show's theme makes me really hungry for breakfast. Showtime is bringing back this show for a 10-episode run in 2021. Here's hoping that the finale is better than the last time they ended this show. Once again, Showtime is bringing back the show for a 10-episode run at some point in 2021. I have no idea when it's going to be. They have no idea what it's going to be. They just say next year, and that's a very nebulous thing. And finally, this weekend, Bruce Willis, Deborah White, and Clarence Gilliard Jr. got together to redo Die Hard for a Die Hard battery ad. What company were they actually advertising? I mean, we know that the battery's name was Die Hard, but somebody actually now owns the Die Hard name and shelled out all the money, because I think Deborah White was probably the person who was the hardest to get out of that bunch. Just thinking. All right, here we go. That was it for Pay Attention. Let's go to category number 2. That, of course, is All Hail the Mighty Colon. It's punctuation's way of saying, hold up, I got more. It's also used in movie titles to give you the movie more context. And then you thought, why does Highlander have a sequel? I'm going to give you a film that features a colon in the title. Don't be dirty. And you have to supply the full title for credit. Here we go. Question number 1. This is not the sequel to Spielberg's Lincoln, but God, I really wish it were. Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Mary Todd Lincoln, the bride of history's greatest hunter of the undead. You have to give us the full title of the film. All right. Questione number 2. Someone thought that a dark and gritty reboot of this fairy tale was, let me look at my notes here, a cannibalistic witch overfeeding children abandoned in the woods. Somebody thought that was a really good idea in 2013. And they gave the starring role to Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol's Jeremy Renner. See, now I'm freaking out a little bit. I'm hoping that the sound is going to work the way I think it is. Oh, it is. Good. Excellent. I have a way of psyching myself out for these things. Question number 3. Hasbro has produced some successful board games like Charlie Kaufman's Guess Who, Werner Herzog's Taboo, or David Cronenberg's Operation. Those are all movies I want to see right now. The movie prequel, this one in particular, is based on the board game by Hasbro, whose name translates to Spirit Board or Talking Board. We almost made posters for those movies, and honestly, I was at least gonna make David Cronenberg's Operation, because that was gonna be a really great bit. And our 4th and final question of the category: the second film in the Purge series. It added Frank Grillo to the series, and Pigman says Grillo makes everything better. I'm not gonna argue with Pigman. I don't know why he loves Frank Grillo so much, but I'm not going to argue with him. I can't. He knows where I live. All right, kiddies, that is going to wrap it up for our first round of questions, which of course means that it is now snack time. It makes me want to fight a yeast infection. Joining us live from an undisclosed bunker location, it is an amazing, amazing friend of mine. She is a sports performer. She is an athlete. She is a goddess, and we welcome her. Please say hello to Ashley Bullington. Hey, Ashley, what's going on?
Wow, I don't think I've ever gotten an intro like that before. I love it. Can I have you?
I'll introduce you that every time I get a chance to.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on.
Ashley and I met. It was the first year of Who Needs Sleep, and I had no idea who she was. Nope. They just said, we're bringing in Ashley Bullington. I said, great, bring her on. She sounds like she's famous. I want her on the show. And you were on a couple of panels. You played along with, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Oren, who's one of the guys from the Dallas Morning News. I'm sorry?
I said those poor trivia people, they hated me. I was so bad at it.
Mike wasn't much better, if I remember correctly. And then we got to hang out. We both shared a massive love for baseball. And you have a love for bad movies. And I am thrilled and honored to have been the first person to show you the movie The Room.
So actually, I think every time I go see The Room, I go with you.
But that we've only gone twice.
I know I've only gone twice, but I love it.
Fair enough. All right. The question that I have to ask every person who is not on the wagon, who is in quarantine and on snack time with us, what is your lockdown beverage of choice? And are you starting to Jones for it if you can't get to the liquor store to buy more at this point?
So I tried to give up alcohol not too long ago to not be a fat bridesmaid for a wedding. So I am a Diet Coke junkie though, and I drink a 44-ounce every single day. So I kind of have withdrawal, or I'm grouchy if I don't get one. But boozy beverage of choice is lately a White Claw. Like me.
Fair enough.
Or margarita. Don't ever take a margarita away from me.
I'm trying to think, because I think the last time we got loaded on margaritas, the last time we went to go see The Room, if I'm remembering correctly.
Afterwards.
Where did you play soccer?
I played at TCU.
Okay. And were you also, I mean, so you're playing, I mean, you're a phenomenal athlete. Were you also studying broadcast journalism at the same time, or were you looking to transition to that if you couldn't get on with the women's soccer leagues or any of that?
Well, so I actually did play in a women's soccer league for a little bit. I played in the WPSL for a little while before we got the NWSL, which has taken off, and I'm super excited about that for women's soccer. It's been a big leap for women in the sport. But yeah, so I played at TCU, and then I decided one day I was like, I don't want to be a doctor. So what do I want to do? And I somehow got into sports broadcasting, and that's actually why I stopped playing, was because I just realized I had a better opportunity when I had a better opportunity in my career versus playing professional soccer and being on the Olympic team, because I was not that good. And when you say I'm a phenomenal athlete, I literally fell off the couch the other day and about broke my ankle. So
is there one, because I mean, I've seen you do baseball, I've seen you do football on various levels. Is there one sport that you prefer to cover more than another?
I am a huge baseball person. So yeah, if I get my pick, I'll pick it over. I mean, I know soccer inside and out, but I would pick baseball over soccer. I pick baseball over football. Like, I am a baseball junkie, and it's not the best thing ever, but it's a little unhealthy, but I love it. Baseball is by far my favorite sport. I went to the NLCS Game 7 last night. It was bomb.
All right, so let's talk about that for a second. You got to be one of the first people to get inside Globe Life Field and watch a live baseball game. So, I mean, I've had a chance to tour the facility. I know it's gorgeous, but I'm curious what the procedure was like to get in. Did you feel safe? Are they doing the right things to make everybody feel like they're going to be okay walking out of there and in 2 weeks afterwards?
For sure. It was really interesting, actually, because they had several seats zip tied. So, like, the seats that are sold are open, and then the ones around you are zip tied, which I thought was really interesting. You also have to leave your mask on unless you're eating food, which I wasn't eating food. I was drinking booze and had to keep my mask on while I wasn't drinking. They said I couldn't be a drinker the whole time either. Well, okay, lame. But for me, I guess I feel pretty safe regardless. I live out in the middle of nowhere, so out here it's not. None of us are wearing masks anyways, just because we don't have any cases. But so it's different going into the stadium, but they take really good protocols. There's hand washing stations everywhere. There's sanitizing stations everywhere. And they're taking the steps that they have been put in place for them by the MLB as well as the state of Texas, and what the agreed upon was for people to be able to come back into a stadium. It's just getting the people to do it, and that's the hardest part. But they were really diligent in trying to make sure that everyone had on their mask and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was just nice to go to a game. I mean, I go to high school football games, so it was nice to go to a professional sports game.
So what if okay. I'm trying to, there's so many questions I have about that ballpark, because I love baseball as much as you do. It's one of the 18,000 reasons why we get along really well. So our dear friend Michael Groobs was piping in field noise between plays and whatnot during the regular season, and also did it a little bit during the first round, the NLCS, which is played here, or actually NLDS, and then they kind of dialed it back a little bit for the NLCS because they were starting to let more fans in. Was that really weaned away as the days went on?
I think they did some of it. I only got to go to Game 7. I think they did some of, having a little bit of pump sound in, but other than that, like, the fans were really into it. I was super shocked to see the amount of Dodgers fans, the amount of Atlanta Braves fans that were actually there. Because, I mean, for me, honestly, I really didn't care who won. Granted, I was really sad that they hit a home run off Chris Martin. He's a guy here from DFW and a friend. So that was depressing, but it was loud in there. There was a lot of people. It doesn't look like there's a ton of people just because of how spread out they are. But honestly, there was probably 10, 15,000 people in there, maybe. Like, there's a lot of people there and excited and like pumping noise in. Maybe that was too many. I don't know. I'm a really bad judge of numbers. But it seemed like it was loud in there to me.
All right. Well, World Series starts tomorrow, Game 1. You've got the Los Angeles Dodgers, their third trip in 4 years to the big show. Oh, yeah. And thank God it's not the Houston Astros playing against them, because I swear to God, if the Astros play a World Series game in Arlington before the Rangers did, I was going to lose my ever-loving mind.
So literally,
it's the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh yeah, I was watching the entire ALCS on the edge of my seat. One, I already have issues with the Astros. I have an issue going on with an Astro, and I'm just, if they made it to the World Series, I would have probably lost my mind. Also, go Tampa Bay Rays. That's what I'm cheering for. So, woo!
That was my next question. I want to know, since it's not a hometown team, if you had one preference or the other. I don't know that I'm rooting for a team. I'm just glad that baseball is being played live, and as long as they're being safe doing it. I mean, the Rangers, if because Joey Gallo had a scare with COVID early on in the second spring training or summer training, whatever you want to call it. But the team stayed relatively safe, and we haven't had any stupid outbreaks other than the St. Louis Cardinals around the first of the season. So I'm just glad to see that it's actually that the experiment has worked. They didn't do the bubble thanks to the Major League Baseball Players Association, but it still has worked out okay. So the fact that we can have fans in there now, it's really, it brings a level of normalcy that we have not had.
Most definitely. I mean, they're doing a small type of bubble. So within the families, they are allowing your significant other and or anybody that you want to be in contact with, but they have to be with you at all times and they can't go outside of the bubble. So if your family wants to come, your family is more than welcome to. They don't have to quarantine with you. They had to quarantine to get into the original bubble and they can't leave the bubble. But if you're like a significant other, like a wife, a girlfriend, or your kids or whatever it is, they had to quarantine with you and they cannot leave. That's the only way that they get to see the players, period. Which I found kind of interesting just because there's several people I know, like that's almost impossible. Like unless you're a stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home girlfriend, or you have a very lenient job. So I know some people that were able to go to the first series, but then had to leave to go back to work and they're now can't see their significant other for 2.5 weeks. But it's, I mean, if it works and that's the way they're going to do it for right now, then that's fine. I get it and completely understand. It just for like the family nucleus. And I know like some guys are really ingrained into their family, like that kind of stinks.
Yeah, agreed. All right. So, other than getting to hang out and watch World Series games, what do you have going on? I know you're on air doing sports, say on some level. So what do the next couple of months look like for you?
So for me, right now, it's all Inside High School Sports all the time, guys. Tune in, Inside High School Sports DFW, Inside High School Sports Houston. You'll see me on there. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but hey, I host the warm-up as well as Team of the Week and then produce all of our digital content. So that's where you can find me. I also do social media for businesses. And if you need a wedding videographer, guys, I'm your girl. But yeah, you can mostly, I know, right? But I'm mostly on Inside High School Sports all the time. And then you'll catch me if there are bowl games, fingers crossed. I do ESPN with the local, the ESPN events. I host all of their digital content as well. I'm a digital content person, people.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
All right. The amazing Ashley Bullington, thank you very much for being a part of this. And there's a tradition that we have with Universal Remote where if somebody is dumb enough to come on with us, we implore them to read the third round or the third category questions. Will you, Ashley Bullington, be so kind as to get us into round 3?
Of course I will. I am so excited for this. I love to host this, by the way. This is my job.
Well, then I may just have you every weekend. And wait, that sounded bad. Okay, round 3 is fill in the gaps. At times, franchises tend to run together a bit when you get to 3, 4, 12 movies. Keeping them in order can be a hassle. These are films with a missing entry in the middle. You have to provide the meat in their sandwich. That sounds incredibly awkward. Ashley, give them question number 1.
So question number 1 is Insidious Chapter 2, blank, Insidious The Last Key. I don't know what this is, by the way. I'm just going to let you know that right now.
I was going to ask, are you where do you stand on horror films?
I mean, I don't do horror or scary. I like to feel good about myself after I see a movie. I don't want to have my heart racing and be really upset. My last scary movie, I'll be very honest, was Paranormal Activity. I was in college.
Fair enough. Question number 2.
I actually have seen this one. The Blair Witch Project in 1999. Blank. Blair Witch, not Blair Witch Project, Blair Witch 2015.
Okay.
I've seen that one. I was camping when I saw it too. I was in 8th grade. I remember. It was horrifying. That's
like taking people snipe hunting when you're that young. Showing them Blair Witch almost seems like Cruel and Unusual Punishment.
I had this he was great. He was my favorite teacher by far, but he was weird. And he took us all on this camping trip. Like if you got the best grades in class, you got to go on this camping trip. And then he would literally scare the schnikes out of you. And it was hilarious.
Oh my God. Question number 3.
So question number 3 is Puppet Master 4, blank, Curse of the Puppet Master. I could just imagine what those movies are about.
Well, there are puppets involved.
That's creepy too.
These are especially creepy, by the way. One of the installments actually stars our good friend Greg Sestero, who is, of course, known as the lead actor other than Tommy Wiseau in The Room.
Oh, really? Huh.
He details that in the book, The Disaster Artist. I can't remember if they talked about it in the movie or not. We'll talk about it later.
This was phenomenal after watching The Room. Phenomenal.
Question number 4.
Question number 4, everyone. Friday the 13th, The New Blood. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
And then you got to fill in the blank for that one as well.
Yeah. I would move. Okay.
Ashley Bullington, it is an amazing time having you on the show. Thank you very much for being a part of it.
I miss you.
So good to see you. I miss you. Oh, baby, miss you too. You were so amazing. Ashley Bullington, ladies and gentlemen, follow her on social media. Hire her to be your wedding videographer.
Yes.
This stuff is amazing. I've seen your reel.
Oh, thank you. Y'all have fun. I hope somebody wins. It won't be me.
No, nobody's gonna. It's winning is a very relative term. All right, get the hell off of my screen. Love you. All right, let us continue on with our final question, or final category of the evening. That, of course, is the Universal Remote Salute to Deborah Hill. Tonight we celebrate the woman that made Halloween, well, Halloween. She was a screenwriter, she was a producer, she was a director. She co-created Michael Myers and Snake Plissken. After her death from colon cancer in 2005, John Carpenter told the Associated Press, "Working with Hill was one of the great experiences of my life. She had a passion not just for movies or women or women's ideas, but for films for everybody. She's the reason for the season, and that's why Universal Remote salutes Deborah Hill." Here are 4 questions about the amazing woman. Question number 1, Deborah Hill started as a script supervisor on various films, including this one, written by John Carpenter, and inspired by Rio Bravo and Night of the Living Dead. Hey, got a smoke? Where'd that go? There that went. I get that one last little bit in there. Question number 2. Hill produced several horror classics and not just John Carpenter flicks. What 1983 film teamed her up with legendary director David Cronenberg, adapting one of Stephen King's best works? Really one of my favorite flicks. Love it immensely. All right, question number 3. Deborah co-wrote The Fog with John Carpenter, but who read these opening lines delivered by Pigman?
11:55. Almost midnight. Enough for one more story. One more story before 12. Just to keep us warm.
One of these nights we're going to do Masterpiece Theater with Pigman. I mean, we've come close to it a few times, but that's, just one of those pieces of it. And our 4th and final question of the evening, it literally has an all-time all-star cast, and audiences saw the film differently across the country. Literally. Which 1985 film was written by Hill and directed by Jonathan Lynn? Okay. Pencils down. That is going to wrap it up for the questions as the scores are tabulated. And please, God, help that we don't have any ties tonight. I want to thank Woody and Leslie on scoring, Zach twisting and tweaking the dials, Pigman for his wonderful words of encouragement as I gear up for another Life Day celebration. Thanks to Free Play Arcade, where you can always head to freeplayinc.com/savethearcade for details on their goings on at all times. Once again, thanks to Ashley Bullington for being a part of our show. I want to bring her on as a co-host at some point. I threatened to do a podcast with her, but, life kind of happened. I'm going to say it again. Our Patreon page is patreon.com/Universal Remote, where you can get great campaign swag like the new Universal Remote coffee mug, which is a sustaining donation. We took the NPR model. So let us take a look at the answers for the second round. In fill in the blank, it was Insidious Chapter 2, Insidious Chapter 3, and then Insidious The Last Key. The Blair Witch Project was followed by Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, and then Blair Witch from 2016. Puppet Master 4 was followed by Puppet Master 5, The Final Chapter, which of course is followed by Puppet Master, or The Curse of the Puppet Master. Because if they say it's the final chapter, never believe them. And Friday the 13th, The New Blood was followed by Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. And then Jason Goes to Hell the final Friday. It wasn't the final Friday there either, nor was it the final chapter prior to The New Blood. And I miss Alamo Drafthouse because they would show a Muppet movie, The Muppets Take Manhattan, then Jason Takes Manhattan. It was always an amazing, amazing thing. For our Deborah Hill loot, the film was inspired by Rio Bravo, and Night of the Living Dead was Assault on Precinct 13. The Dead Zone was the film that Deborah Hill produced along with the amazing David Cronenberg. Almost Midnight, time for one more story for just to keep us warm. It was read by the amazing John Houseman. And finally, the all-star cast. Film saw it differently across the country. Ending 3 was the one on VCR where they told you that was the definitive answer of what happened. Of course, I'm talking about Clue. Let us look over at those scores. We have no ties. So, third place with 235 points is John Gamero. Second place with 315 points is Ken Goach. And first place with 510 points, recovering from a flipping heart attack on Saturday night, he comes back to take the podium top. It is Roy Buckingham. Roy, you are the smartest person on the internet for the week. Thank you very much for playing with us. Get better soon, or maybe don't have a heart attack so other people can actually have a round of scoring, because apparently you're going to just, drive us all crazy. Until then, thank you very much for watching Universal Remote. We hope to see you back again next week, where our guest is going to be, can I say it? Can I jinx it? Will it let the rabbit out of the hat? Is it going to be less awkward than Jeffrey Toobin not hitting mute on a Zoom call? Find out for another thrilling and fun-packed episode of Universal Remote. Slàinte, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Devin Pike. I will see you back again in 6 days and 23 hours. Love, peace. We are out.
Tune in next week. Same Pigman time. Same Pigman channel.